Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome along to Live at 5, or actually, because of Kenny, live at 2 minutes past 5.
You've been use at court. You've been use at court. I wouldn't take you if you paid me.
No, because it's just me that gets the blame all the time. I really wish this chest would go, man. It is doing my nothing. No, I'm not taking the blame for the night, Kenny, and I want you to admit to all our loyal viewers, watchers, and listeners why we're late.
I'll be honest with you, right, and he's absolutely right. I need to be honest here. It was all Martin.
Oh. Telling you. Shocking behaviour. Anyway, welcome along, everybody. Welcome along to your Live at 5, your Monday to Friday nightly Rangers news show, where we keep you up to date with all the latest news, all the latest reaction to all the games, and just whatever you guys want to talk about as well, because why the hell not? Kenny, how are you?
I'm still coming to terms with everything. I'm happy though about all the amount of games that we're actually starting to steamroll. So I'm a kind of happy wee bear. So am I.
Right, I got a bit of stick this morning on the morning phone in.
How?
Right, because I was at the game last night, and obviously I don't get to go to as many Rangers games as I would like to go because of the show and all the stuff I need to do for it. So when I was at the game last night, Kenny, I was delighted with the win. Absolutely delighted with the win. The point I made on the show was, however, what last night showed us, we need reinforcements in, and we need reinforcements in yesterday. Right. There was many occasions. There was quite a few occasions last night where a very poor Aberdeen team broke through us with ease, got in behind, could have had a few goals. We scored a couple of set goal pieces, which is great to see because football, it goes in cycles, football, doesn't it? And right now seems to be we're going through the set piece era. That's what it seems to be. Yep. But out with that, I don't think we created loads of chances. I think we still struggled with that. There was many times last night where I seen Chermati screaming for the ball, trying to make a run in behind. And for whatever reason, we just refused to try and find them. So, yes, we won the game. Yes, we are now second in the league. Yes, Danny Rule is doing absolute miracles with this team. Mm-hmm. And for me, right now, is head and shoulders manager of the year, right? Head and shoulders manager of the year for what he's managed to achieve with this Rangers team. I just want us to start making some signings, Kenny, because I'll be worried if we don't.
Well, firstly, right, and you know me, I just say it. Nobody should be having a go at you for that. At the end of the day, I think every single person, whether it be a fan sitting drinking a beer in a pub, whether it's somebody watching the podcast, whether it's somebody on the podcast, any podcast, everyone said that he's punching above his weight with the players that he's got available. So that's, you can't say that and then come on and slaughter you because you said you need to buy players that are better at retaining the ball or getting open chances. I think there was one incident where the ball got played over the top and into Mikey Moore. Now he spun in it and he missed, but that was probably the most imaginative pass I saw. And I think it was Fasuter who drove a little bit forward. So every single pod I've watched or been involved in, we've all said the same thing, Martin. So I don't, you know, and I'm not going to anybody. I'm just saying, I don't see where that's kind of hypocritical. If you're
I think people were just on a bit of a high because we've won again. We're into second. You know, we're winning games, and it's all this. You know, if your auntie had boys, should be your uncle. You know, if Aberdeen were better up front, they might have scored a couple of goals last night. Blah blah blah. You know.
So you've just said the point I was going to come back and back you with. Their number 9 was Mincemeat, and they were through 2-3 times easy. Because we ended up scoring with set pieces, which, by the way, hats off to our set piece coach, because I'll tell you now, wow, we've got defenders scoring headers and midfielders scoring headers. Wow, who knew? 5 goals for Fernandes this year, unreal. And it wasn't so many moons ago, me, you, and all the boys were saying, Jesus, man, when was the last time we scored for a corner? So there is shining lights, of course there is, but there has to be realism on last January, how long it took us to get rid and get folk in. Mm-hmm. So, mate, we've just been a bit real. That was all. Just saying, listen, we need that, as somebody put in the comments, I can open in midfielder. And this guy, I think it's Salasla Anderson, he is an absolute pest of a bully. He's like a Chermati in midfield, but, you know, more composure in that. So we're trying to do what you're saying we're doing, and I get it. Maybe folk were a bit way, but at the end of the day, we get cut open quite a few times, and a more clinical Celtic would have cut us open more in the first half of the Old Firm as well. So I think what you were doing was just maybe nobody was ready for it to be sensible. Heed Martin, they were wanting you on there with the flags and all that. And listen, I'm buzzing with it all, right? The only reason I'm buzzing with it all is I think we all said we want him to get to January and try and keep as close as we can to the top of the league, right? That's what we said. We knew the players in the club weren't good enough. There was maybe 5 or 6 it was, and the rest maybe a wee bit tetchy and questionable. We've done that. So, yeah, I would say I would back you all the way with that, because at the end of the day, it needs freshened, and we need to find a couple of people that can upset the balance, whether it be physically or skillfully.
I mean, I want to focus on some positives as well, and I thought the midfield three were excellent last night. I thought, and multiple man pointed it out this morning in the morning phone as well. They were taking turns each at going forward. They were taking turns each at staying back. It felt really well organised. They seemed as if they knew what they were doing. And I'll come back to that. One of my biggest worries for last night was the amount of times that the ball was just passed by John Souttar and Aberdeen were in. And again, a great point made on the show this morning was it happened to Fernandes a few times, but Fernandes has got that recovery in him to get back and win the ball. All right, albeit, I mean, he waits until like the last millisecond to make the pass, Fernandes, right at the back, and your heart's in your mouth. But he gets back and he makes that recovery tackle. Souttar doesn't have that, Kenny.
Again, we need to make a habit. I know you agreeing with me because this is getting beyond a joke. But aye, you're absolutely right. But we all said again about Soapy and Tav and all that, there's a few steps short, and that's why Big Sterling's coming in and Tav's getting dropped and back in. He's starting to slowly integrate difference and give respect to people who's maybe off a step. I've got a funny feeling he wanted to give Soapy a year contract purely because if the squad's bigger, if you get a centre-back that takes the position with Fernandes or you bring 2 in, I don't know, then Soapy would be a phenomenal guy to come on for the last 20 minutes and maybe just see a game out. And I'm hoping that's the thought process on it. But Martin, you're bang on. He's passed it a wee bit. He's missing a wee step. He's not too bad going forward. He's got a long ball in him. There's a few decent long balls to feet on the both wings yesterday. So, I agree with you. I think he's missing a wee step. Now, if you come up again, say Hearts have a decent transfer window and Celtic have a decent transfer window and they buy some really tricky, hard-working forward players, then we need to make sure that the work's done at the back to counteract that, to smother that. We're doing it okay now. We're getting away with a lot. Nobody can say to me that we've no had a good slice of luck when it's coming to through balls going our way. But you can't ask Barron to kill himself like that in every game because you're going to end up with A, an injury, or B, him done in, and then you've nobody else to fill the gap. So totally agree with you, mate, 100%.
You mentioned Conor Barron there. Right, let's go on to some positives, Kenny. Like, that boy does not stop. Like, I don't know where he gets that energy from. Like, he was outstanding last night.
It was just because Raskin scored, I get it, right? But the reason Raskin was back to where he should be is because of Barron doing all the donkey work. The guy was absolutely Martin everywhere. I mean, it was one of the ones where he chased the ball 3 times to 3 different players in Aberdeen and got it 3 times. And I turned and looked at my wee boy and the two just didn't even say a word. Just puffed their cheeks out like that. Imagine playing against a guy like that on that forum. And I was begging for him to score. I just wanted him to score against him because they give him so much shite. They give him so much ping all the time, every time. And when he swiveled inside the box, I was like, God, please put it in there. Never came. But Martin, he was my man of the match, just personally.
Aye. Oh, God, Kenny, outstanding, mate. Absolutely outstanding. Yes, he's pushed off the ball sometimes a little bit too easily. But the work he does, and by the way, he was so much better. What?
I was just before we comment up about his multiple one said that I think you need to get him drug tested.
Aye, I know, by the way. Maybe we went back to that special coffee, Kenny.
Well, aye. I mean, there is a Fernandes. Maybe he's a new Marvin Andrews. He's maybe bringing some voodoo magic about him. I don't know.
But what I did notice was he was so much better with the ball at his feet last night, Barn, as well, Kenny.
there was an end product, Martin, wasn't there? There was a. I mean, sometimes you used to run about scatterbrained, and let's just maybe connect the two with Rowe and Barron. There's maybe simplicity coming across, and he's getting what he's meaning. Because, as you said, he used to get into the positions, but it would never come off, or he would be just belting about the park, and nothing would really have an end product. He had a pass, he broke the play up, he had a calm head. Probably one. I would go as far as to say that's the best game I've seen him playing in a Rangers jersey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was desperate for him to score last night, Kenny.
No, I know.
I was desperate for him to score.
The one in the box, mate. The one in the box when he swiveled on it, you're thinking, please. And he got a corner, remember? But did we score for that corner? I can't remember.
Jeez,
but
you're asking me to remember something that happened more than 5 minutes ago. But bringing him off, by the way, with a couple of minutes to go was top shithousery for Rangers. That was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Before we go back to the game, a couple of wee bits of kind of transfer rumour type kicking about. Tochi Chukwueze, I think that's how you pronounce it. The Sturm Graz midfielder, Kenny. Again, a boy I don't know a great deal about. He did get sent off against Celtic for what I thought was a perfectly reasonable challenge, to be honest. But it looks like a dynamic, hard-working, quite a fierceful midfielder, Kenny. Something that, I mean, I don't think it's at the top of our list, is it?
No, but he's been watched. I've started a wee thing which Shona put up about Anderson. We'll get to him in a wee second. No, but I can kind of see what he's going after. When you watch Anderson's games highlights and watch this, I'm not even going to say his name because I don't want to turn into wee Gilly, wee Stuart, you know what I mean, saying the daft names and all. That fella, they've got a very similar MO, which is aggressive, hard-working, end product engine. So I think that's where he's trying to go with this in the midfield, so that it's working with Barron. Diamandi's stepped up. Raskin's been allowed to float because the hard work's been done. The defenders are starting to relax slightly if they could stop letting folk through. So I think they might have been watching them for a wee while. I love the fact that Glasgow Rangers now like to feed the press what they want when they want it. It's refreshing, this.
It is. It really is. And in terms of like transfer rumours and stuff, Kenny, like I said this morning, I'm just desperate for us to bring in reinforcements because the bench last night proved that we really, really need it. But what we need more than just people that are good squad players, we need starters. We need first team starters to come in and improve this squad. Does Chukwueze and Anderson do that?
Well, they're playing for the starting 11 of both retrospective clubs, which is a great start. It's not the first time I've saw players coming in and end up sitting on the bench for weeks and months, so it's going to be time will tell. I think he's trying to bring the age gap of the age group the club down a wee bit. So there's going to be significant signings I want to see that walk into a team. Your Diamandis, your Barons and that, it's all working there. Your strikers are very important because we need somebody to finish. I would love to see somebody like a Fox in the Box McCoy, something like that for Chermiti to try and help get goals with. So you've got a high ball option, you've got a low ball option, you've got a corner option, you've got the two things. Ali and Haitley were unreal, weren't they, mate? That was exactly how you done it. You hit the boy that's going to hold the ball up as long as he can and he'll thread one through. So I'd like to see a striker like that. In the midfield, I'd like to see an aggressive Patrick Vieira style, which Anderson apparently is, and your wee Chucky, I'll call him. Looks like that way. And Martin, the centre-back, we need a walk-in centre-back to take somebody's spot straight off them. Because the right-back is eventually maybe going to be Sterling. However, if multiple reports is going to be coming to fruition about him, not very happy if he's been out pissed after the Old Firm. Now listen, they're just reports, but there's quite a lot.
Aye, but again, it's one of those ones where you wait until you know for sure exactly what's happening. The day that I trust a newspaper is the day that I give up doing podcasts. That's the day that I trust.
Is that because the Daily Record paid you off? Is this bitter stuff?
I wish. No, I mean the Daily Record's one of the papers that I mistrust the most. To be honest, Daily Record, the Sun, the Herald, the lot of them. I've no interest in anything that any of those newspapers have got to say about my football club. Absolutely none.
Nah,
and especially about our players. There could be very well truth in it, Kenny, and if there is, he's a stupid boy. Because again, when he came on last night, when he came on into that centre-back berth, we looked better.
Aye, and that's the difference with Danny Rule again, man. Know what I mean? We used to just drink pints. They're firing steins down the players now, you know what I mean? Look at if that's the case. Listen, I think we're only 3 or 4 players away from a very, very difficult team. Now, listen, if you look back at there was one I always remembered, right? And it was, I can't remember who paired, but Mark Reaper for Celtic used to pair, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been Volharen, maybe? Is that right?
Maybe.
When one of them used to no play, the other one was garbage. So I think that's how Rangers are going that way. They're going to have to be this commanding, screaming, talking Amoroso, Bugera, whatever, who takes all the stress and it does not affect them. So the other player, maybe Fernandes, can relax. Yeah. Also, I think the game's that quick in Scotland, they're taking a wee bit of time to realise, get the ball and pass it. Whether it's defence or whether it's Asgard, who has got a turn and a trick in him, by the way, but he has to realise that they'll just keep coming at you. So I think Asgard might be one for the future, unfortunately for him with bottom. And Fernandes, I think, would benefit from a really strong centre-back with really good feet and a very sensible head about passing the ball quickly. Suter holds it too much, and Butland's a phenomenal keeper, but he holds the ball too long at his feet. Yeah. So I think maybe that needs to get taught out a wee bit.
Aye, that's exactly it for me. I've always been honest in my feelings about Suter. I think Suter could be a squad player for us at most. At most, I mean, Suter can come in against, you know, probably a bad example because they're probably going to get relegated, but against your Livingstons, you know, against your, I don't know who else. I mean, your Dundee Uniteds, etc. He can come in against those teams. Again, similar to Asgard, I don't think I want Suter starting or being our main starter against Hearts, Hibs, Celtic, that sort of thing. I want a better quality defender in there.
Yeah, you couldn't say that any better. We know there's maybe, we've not got the leader defender, the guy like the Butchers, the Goffs, the as I said, the Begueras, the Boomsongs, these.
Dare I even add Goldson in there?
You could, because I'll tell you what, he's a bit bomb scary, right? But by God, that boy could hit a 50, 60-yard ball right to somebody's feet. So, listen, you could, because they were fear to him, and we've not got that presence where I think Suter's too nice. I think he's too nice. You know, they want a defender to stone our folk. I mean, see when Fernandes is standing in the box ready to go for a header, he said in his interview, didn't he? He knows he's a big boy and he knows he's got a chance. So I think at the back and on, nothing fears him. So if that boy develops a bit more and learns how to maybe pass the ball a bit faster and get it away, I think if we find somebody who already comes to that mould, it might benefit Fernandes. But for me, Suter's the squad player, Martin, the same as you, pal.
And in terms of Fernandes, what do you make of Fernandes in terms of not just his defensive work, Kenny, but his ability in the opposition box? He's up there as one of your top goal scorers this season.
Aye. There was a fantastic comment there, right? And it's I'm going to connect it to it, and it was about the fact that Aribo was very similar when he first came into Rangers, where he needed a bit of development and then he became the player he did. I feel Fernandes is very similar at the other end of the park. I feel he's got Rolls Royce qualities, but it's his little mistakes that's allowed him to come to Rangers. And I think if you get the right coach to coach that out, and the right set piece man to coach it out and all that kind of stuff, you could have a very decent defender here, because, as you said, offensively, the guy is a pest. We just need to watch he doesn't get caught. But again, he's young. He's a young guy. He looks as if he wants to learn. He wants to get his mistakes out the road. Other than Giga, he's scoring goals regularly and he's playing as a team player. Whereas I think sometimes Giga was mainly trying to make sure he didn't make an ass of himself a lot of time, and it was in his head and all the rest of it. So have I got an idea of who they would like to go for? No. But I know the mould has to be right with good feet, good brain, and a very quick passer of the ball, because the first year, right in saying, maybe the first year, John Stones found out at City very quickly that he couldn't hold the ball where he did previously and just Nancy about with it. He realised very, very fast that within a year that you touch it, get your head up, look and just get it out. Your job's just to basically get it away from your box and to one of your players.
I want to bring up this super chat because I could speak about Danny Rule for hours and hours and hours. I think the job that this guy's done is phenomenal, Kenny. Rule 32 and 39 points wise, you can't really ask for much better. Well, considering when he came in, Kenny, if I had sat here and says to you, Danny Rule's going to take 32 points out of 39, He's going to beat an informed Motherwell team. He's going to beat Celtic at Parkhead, and we're going to be second in the league. Who says to me, Martin, I want what you're smoking.
100%, and everybody was, every Rangers fan I spoke to when we were for about 3 days sitting in 11th was like that, right? We know the league's away, so we need to rebuild. And that's what I heard, and I'm going, Jesus, man, it's only the start of the season. So for him to come in October, but not only, you've got to remember the pressure cooker scenario Rangers is anyway, but he's walked into a place where, I don't know if anybody out there's played five-a-sides, right? And you're having a merry a game, and there's like 4 folk outside the cage shouting at you, and your ass is making buttons. In that scenario, this was 50-odd thousand folk waiting on you making an ass of it. He come into, kept his composure, revelled in it, revelled in a wee bit of sanity, and done what he done quietly and slowly with players, this is very important, only his, and who were underachieving ridiculously. All of that, to me, is not an exaggeration of how powerful a message he's shown, not just our fans, but people watching in, that this guy might have something a little bit special. I would love this guy to be one of those stories where we got him at the right time, he done whatever he done for us, and he became who he became. Because these great managers had to start somewhere. They had to go, and I'm hoping this story for Danny starts with us.
And we never get that. We've not had that for years and years and years, Kenny. And that's not saying that he's going to go to a bigger team. That's saying he's going to go to a better league and become the manager that he can in a better league. And I absolutely think, like what Sierra's saying there, the job that he's come in, and by the way, Sierra, thank you very much for the support, my friend. It's really appreciated. The job that he's come in and done, Kenny. And again, I take the point, maybe the Motherwell manager, his name I always forget, maybe he's up there for manager of the year, because the job that he's done at Motherwell, and as many people know, not my favourite team in the world, right? But the job that he's done at Motherwell is nothing short of fantastic as well, considering somebody on this podcast did say at the start of the season that they think Motherwell might go down. And how wrong was that person? That would have been me. But it's how good is it to be proud of your manager again, Kenny?
It's I'm no saying the Gerrard thing anymore. I'm putting it out there just to use his name. It's a disrespect to the guy, but there's sniffings of that type of scenario where it started to turn in year 2 of SG, or where there was a buy-in for players, there was a believability of what he was trying to do. There's obviously good things happening in the training ground. There's good things happening in analytics in the room where they sit and talk about things. There's man management happening. There's set plays happening. There's a cohesion between Stig coming in and your set piece coach. Everything seems to be all in one message. Whereas I think for a long time, I'd say 10, 12 years maybe, there's no been, but take away the Gerrard thing, there's no been a cohesion between hierarchy just below manager or coach and his team. I think it was all about hear him, scare him. I would say even go back to even Beale, by the way, because I think there was a ton of jobs he was trying to do as well, because there was nobody really floating about. No excuses in it, but you know what I mean. But Danny
just listen to what the players are. Listen to what Nico Rasmussen's coming out and saying about him. Nico Rasmussen's coming out and saying he's phenomenal. I love him. I love playing under him, and he's making me a better player. And he seems to be making the players better.
Martin, 100%. And also, start to watch the body language of your team. They're gravitating to the fans anytime they do something well, even if they just missed it. The fans like that and all that. And if they score, they're up smiling and they're engaging, and the fans are getting it back. I remember Barry went right through the boy, boom, right in the byline. It was as if somebody scored a hat trick. The crowd went mental because he chased 3 guys down and kept the ball and defended from attack. All of these little things is all Danny's analytics, explanations. It's his calmness. See the calm little talking, just like, aye, whatever. The German thing, just like, I don't know what you're all dancing about for. There's about 80% still to go here, what I need to do. Aye. But I don't think he realises just how much we thank him for helping us just even get to the tapper end of the table. No going for titles or anything like that. Just competitive, yeah. And getting to January where we might have a chance of getting the recruitment possibly right. Go second, maybe joint, third, whatever, or go for a title and you win a cup would be achievable for us now. You would not have said even that in 10th.
No, absolutely not. You would not have. Stephen Garrow, 16 months a member. Thank you very much, Stephen. We need to get the lad Anderson in. He's an animal in the midfield, which we really miss. And along with that, Shona's comment, Anderson plays off the right, not a number 6, only had one decent season and hardly any experience in comparison to Chuck Wayani. Again, two players, and I really need to start, Kenny, having a wee look at different European leagues, because these are two guys that I know nothing about.
No, yeah, the Anderson's, I'll give Shona that, he's definitely raw. Again, though, it's Danny's eye. What does he see? Does it fit the league narrative where we never bought players to fit our league? Wee Chucky obviously has played a lot more games. He said man's in the matches and all that. She's right. So, he would probably hit the ground running quicker. But if that guy is something that he seems as if he thinks he wants and he knows, nobody expected Waghorn to do all right, Windass to do all right, or go up to Aribo or all these players that he brought in, because he saw it different than we did. We all had our own opinion about these boys that came in for the Gerrard team that ended up going to Europe final. Because when we brought them in, I mean, Kamara for a start, right? You're going, what the hell, man? What's going on here? And then when you're selling them for whatever it was, you're thinking, Jesus, I get that wrong. So as fans, brilliant, have an opinion. But if this fella sees something in this guy and he's a bit of a... I mean, it's no coincidence that Chermitty's playing out his skin under Danny for a long period of time than he would have done elsewhere. I think he'd have been a lost cause for a while. So I think the same with Anderson or wee Chucky, but I'm going to leave it up to him because I don't really know a lot about them. I've done the stupid thing, like when somebody's not well, they Google it. I've went and watched YouTube clips of these guys. So I've probably made a right knob at watching it anyway.
The YouTube clips are the killer, by the way. The YouTube clips are the absolute killer. Roll Runner, 15 months already. I love the Rabbles, and we love you, Roll. So thank you very much for your support, my friend. We are getting better every game. Gaz, member for 19 months now. Thank you very much, Gaz. Are we getting better every game, Kenny, or are we getting by every game?
I would say a bit of both. There is games, I mean, yes, they were getting through as Aberdeen, but some of the football was absolutely unrecognisable. Some of the wee passes and movings, especially the one that ended up with a shot for Asking and a great save, actually, for the Aberdeen keeper. So a bit of both, mate. We could easily end up being down a couple of goals. So it's imperative we get somebody, I'll steal his comment again, the can-opening midfielder and somebody to finish that hard work somebody does. Because we are, Martin, we are sometimes... I was on the phone to my mother talking about her. She tunes into this all the time. And I says to her, Lady Luck's been kind to us as well. And I think we can all agree that.
Aye. BF gaming.
That's exactly
it. I'm thinking he was class. This is the problem with YouTube. This is the problem with YouTube. So Nasser Giga Kenny is on his way back. As Burkina Faso were dumped out by the Ivory Coast. Does he come back in to the starting lineup? He's played the grand total, I believe, out in AFCON, Kenny, of 0 minutes for Burkina Faso. So he's well rested. But again, how long's that been now? What's that been? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? He's been away. Match sharpness maybe gone. Does he come straight back into this Rangers team?
Not a chance in hell. And also, if I end up winning the lottery and end up like Phileas Fogg, that Burkina Faso, I'm getting anywhere near it for letting him come back that early. How dare you get beaten, give him back? That's ridiculous. And it's no coincidence that he's been nowhere near the team for weeks and we're starting to hit a bit of a high.
Did you know Felix started to improve a little just before he left? Listen,
Danny could probably improve most people. I just don't want the unsettlement anymore. If Souters... See, the thing is, him and Fernandes, they probably would take a bit of time to have a bit of cohesion, but some of his mistakes were, geez Louise, man, some of it was a bit oof. I don't know. It's hard because I'd love to give the big guy a chance, but he's a guy, he's on loan, is that right? So I'd rather just have Souter and Fernandes and see if we could work it out, or buy somebody ready to run. And it's unfair and get Magoma. My statement here, it's a bit hypocritical, right? Because I like him, but that position, I'd rather have the player in there that we own to develop that a lot more and play suitor with him than say something terrible happens, right? And Wolves tell him to come back. Hold on to hang up on this phone. Jesus, my wife's phone.
That is the professionalism, folks, that you get here on the Rabble. I think he's actually answered the phone as well.
No, I haven't shouted, there's your phone, and tried to throw it like a baseball player. She's not happy. Right, I think I would rather keep Fernandes and Suter, or Fernandes and a purchased player.
Yeah, and in terms, just really quickly, Kenny, before we go, you mentioned Magoma there. Again, I thought, excellent last night. I think he's improving game on game on game. We forget how young he is. Mm-hmm. We forget that he's not played a lot of men's football, a lot of first-team football. I would love us to be able to sign him permanently. I just don't think it'll be possible. I think he may be a little bit out of our price range, but he needs support. He needs us to bring another player in there to give him a rest, because he cannot continuously play every game.
I feel heart sorry for him, Martin. I feel heart sorry. The guy. Don't get me wrong, he's a very fit boy, man. He's always pinging up and down. But as you say, everybody needs a rest. So it's nice to see that we're actively looking at the likes of the pen races and whatever else. There's another one for Tromso, isn't there? Can't remember the guy's name. Tour something. But again, it'd be nice to hear. I think it was a day or yesterday I heard that they were actually making a move on things. They had a bid not back, and they'd made conversation talks with this Chucky guy and all that. So if that continues, I mean, it was refreshing, wasn't it, when Danny said, I want to have some players in before the Scottish Cup, the Cup, sorry, and things. So only time will tell.
Oh, yellow card. I would love to, Kenny, have some players in before the game at the weekend, if I'm being brutally honest. But I know that, I mean, Harvey's asking, do you think the club will have a new player in by the weekend's game? I would like to hope so, but I mean, it's already Wednesday. So
I know. But again,
even if we did sign a player, he's not going to be in the squad for the weekend.
No. Just depends what you buy him for. If he's in competitive football then and he's a first team player and all that. But listen, it is only Wednesday. I mean, there could be things there that folk are flying into Scotland the new or the night or the morrow. I mean, it only takes don't know how long. And
if you get that aeroplane app thing.
What?
If you get that aeroplane app thing people were using to track people coming into the country of private jets and all that.
That's me. That's how sad my life is. That's what I do. I just sit there looking at that all day until you phone me up and say, can you come on the pod? But no, I do agree with you. I think somebody will win before the weekend. I do. And I would like to think it. I'm dying to hear about somebody saying something about a striker, mate. I really am. Aye, flight tracker. 24. Somebody needs to float about a striker here, because the big man's trying his nuts off. Majowski's no filling me full of confidence. He's not got blistering pace or anything like that. So we really need somebody. I'd say a midfielder and a left back, a midfielder, and a striker. There's the three I want.
Centre back.
Oh well, aye, Christ, four.
Centre back for me before anybody. Centre back for me before anybody.
Goalkeeper. Let's just keep going. Just throw millions at
There was a massive noticeable difference up front when Chermiti went off.
Aye.
In terms of being able to hold the ball up, in terms of bringing other people into the game, it was a massive difference.
Oh, mate. I feel good for the boy. He took some ping, man, and rightly so. By the way, I remember somebody saying, I don't know if it was Boyd that said that or no. Somebody said it, but rightly so. But didn't he just give him ping because he was nobody liked his trainers? It was he was playing pretty poor. But the option he gives you for an out ball, and he's holding off one or two players at a time, Martin, to bring somebody else in. And his feet is quite composed, so he's not just holding them off and then making a pig's ear. He's actually finding the player that he needs to or whatever. So it'd be nice.
You can actually see his confidence growing all the time.
100%. And I love the fact that the Rangers fans round about the stadium near the park when he walked off, stood up for him and applauded him.
He milked that. Oh, he milked that. And right as he should. He milked that.
I deserved it, man. But obviously you ask the questions. I'm going to fire one at you. Striker-wise, is there anybody that floats about your mind?
Do you know, I've always been a fan of, and people are going to have a go at me here, and I know that he wasn't great last night. I've always been a fan of Kevin Nisbet. I've always been a fan of him, and I just don't know if that move down south killed his confidence or whatever. Was it Ipswich? I think he went to. Killed his confidence, and he's came back up, and he's not been the same player that he was at Hibs the first time. Yeah. I feel if we had got that Kevin Nisbet, the one that was at Hibs the first time, he would have scored a barrel load of goals for us. I don't know if he's still that same player though, Kenny.
Listen, mate, we always sing every other Saturday, right? Well, with Kevin Nisbet, every other Saturday he's doing the Highbees walk, so we need to be careful with that one because he wouldn't be available every other Saturday, mate. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that. I just want somebody in that can score goals. Look at you, proud of yourself for that one. Look at you.
No. Yeah, come here, Archie. No, right. I'm smiling because he's all buzzing because he get a new jogger, pull up shin guards. Yeah, say hello.
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 Hello, Trey.
Okay.
See you later, pal. Aye. I'm not having you hang up like that. Go on yourself, Kenny, for your joke.
But also as Lyndon's saying here again, a player I really like is Kieran Bowie.
Big fan of Kieran.
I think he's a cracking player.
No negative at all, is he? He's just doing straight through you. His final pass is good as well, isn't it? He's not too bad at all. I've got to throw the spanner in the works, but I do like Cammy Devlin, but I'm not so sure he's the type of aggressive midfielder we need because we've got like Raskin and that there. So, but Bowie, I mean, be welcome to try and break into the first team and develop there and stuff like that.
The issue that we seem to have though, Kenny, is creating chances. That's the one big issue that we've got, and I don't know if you bring in a Bowie, I know Nisbet's probably not quite at the level anymore. Like I say, I think the Nisbet the first time round at Hibs is. If you bring in a Nisbet, even if you brought in a Shankland, are we creating the chances for them? No,
because you've got to have somebody, and this is where I like the fact we're talking about wee Chucky and Anderson and things like that, because you need somebody to open the door. You want to give Raskin as much freedom as you possibly can to try and find the pass, but if he doesn't, you need to have somebody that's going to allow, and I know this is a huge plinth, right? Gaza. But Gaza would pull two players towards him and still find that thread ball, and that's their full shape done in. There's plenty of players out there if you get the right eyes to find them, Martin, to find that player that the team start getting off balance. You're playing and saying, Jesus, man, the two will need to go and mark him. But if the guy's quick enough with his feet, it's through. And that's when you're saying you need to find the right type of striker. Nisbet's just the player is somebody right.
I don't think he is. He's got all the attributes as well. He's big, he's powerful, he's strong, he's quick, he can finish. I just don't know what's happened to the boy. I just really don't know what's happened to him since he left Hibs the first time. Stuart Henderson, my friend, happy birthday. Shout out for my 38th birthday, Martin. I'd buy me for us. I bet you would. But you're 38 now, Stuart. You're well past it. It's you get to that age. I mean, I'm 36, so you get to that age where even though you're not good enough, you say to yourself, "Well, my chances of playing for Rangers now are definitely gone because I'm the same age as the manager." You know what I mean? But happy birthday, Stuart, mate. I hope you have a good one, my friend. But that will do us for today, folks. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Please do hit that like button before you leave. It really does help out the show. And make sure that you're subscribed as well. The subscriptions have started to go back up again, which is crazy. So thank you very, very much. And of course, if you want access to extra content, Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Friday nights, random rabbles, supplements at the weekend, loads and loads of extra shows, then you can do so. You can get them now by joining as a member, the links for which are in the description. Kenny, mate, thank you very, very much.
It's been a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure on the Rabble.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Go and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night and we shall speak. What's on tonight? Alex is on. I don't know if it's at 7 or 9, but Hightower is on tonight with Hightower Hijacks Your Wednesday.
Just before you go off, what's happened with his beard, man?
I don't know, man, but it's scary, isn't it?
Here.
He needs to grow it back, doesn't
he? He's I hope he's got that fame hang now, hasn't he? He's got a new chick. That's what's happening here.
I think so. I think maybe we need to check his DMs. We don't need to check yours because you've clearly went for the hobo look.
It's working a treat.
It's an absolute treat. Right, folks, thank you very, very much. Like I say, we're back later on tonight. We're back tomorrow at 5 p.m. as well. Thank you for everything, folks, and we shall speak very, very soon.